There's something strange about the moment you clicked on this video. You're not randomly browsing, you're searching, not for entertainment, for confirmation. Because lately you've been feeling something you can't quite name. You know where you want to go. You can see it clearly in your mind, but you're not there yet. And that gap, that space between where you are and where you're trying to be, it's starting to feel heavier than it used to. Some days you wake up electric, convinced that tomorrow everything clicks into place. Other days you can barely get out of bed because it feels like you're running in place, exhausting yourself while going nowhere. And you're starting to wonder if this is just how it's going to be. If maybe you're the exception. The one person for whom it doesn't work out. But here's why this video found you right now. You're standing in the most important phase of your entire journey. The one nobody talks about. The one that separates people who make it from people who don't. You're in between. And this message only appears for people in that exact space. Once you cross over, once you break through to the other side, you won't need to see this again. Because you'll already be living it. Let me tell you what's really happening to you right now. You're living in two realities simultaneously. There's the reality you can see, the one where you're still building, still struggling, still waiting for things to align. And then there's the reality you can feel, the one where you've already made it, where the version of you that has everything you're working toward already exists. And you can sense that version. You know they're real, you know you're becoming them. But the gap between those two realities, between who you are and who you're becoming, that gap is where you're stuck right now. And it's disorienting because some days the future version feels so close you could touch it. You make decisions from that place. You move with confidence. You feel unstoppable. And then other days, the current version feels so heavy, so far behind, so inadequate that you can't imagine ever bridging that distance. That oscillation, that emotional whiplash, that's not a sign something's wrong. That's a sign you're exactly where you need to be. Because here's what nobody tells you about growth. It's not linear. It's not this steady climb where you feel a little better, a little closer, a little more certain every single day. It's chaos. It's 2 steps forward, 3 steps back, 1 giant leap, then a month of feeling like you're standing still. And during that process, your mind is trying to make sense of it, trying to find patterns, trying to predict when the breakthrough will come. But you can't predict it. You can only prepare for it. And preparation doesn't look like motivation. It looks like showing up on the days you don't feel like it. It looks like taking action when you have no proof it's working. It looks like choosing the harder right over the easier wrong, even when nobody's watching. That's what you've been doing. Maybe you haven't given yourself credit for it. Maybe you've been so focused on how far you still have to go that you haven't noticed how far you've already come. But you're doing it. You're in it. And the fact that you're tired, the fact that some days feel impossible, that's not failure. That's the weight of transformation. You're carrying 2 versions of yourself right now. The old one that's dissolving and the new one that's forming. And that's heavy. Of course, you're exhausted. Now let's talk about that voice in your head. The one that shows up on the bad days and asks, is this even going to happen for me? That voice sounds like doubt. It sounds like fear, but it's actually something else. It's your system checking in, making sure you still want this, making sure you're willing to keep going, even when it's hard. Because if you weren't serious, if this was just a fantasy or a phase, you would have quit by now. You would have found an easier path. You would have convinced yourself you didn't really want it anyway. But you're still here, still showing up, still wondering. And that wondering, that persistent question of when, not if, that's actually faith. Messy, uncomfortable, doubt-filled faith. But faith nonetheless. Because you wouldn't still be asking when if you didn't believe it was coming. You'd have already walked away. The fact that you're still in the game, still swinging, still willing to endure the in-between, that proves you know something deeper than your doubt. You know you're built for this. You just wish it would hurry up and happen already. And here's the thing about people who've made it to where you're trying to go. Every single one of them went through this exact phase, the in-between, the place where you can see the destination, but you're not there yet. The place where belief and doubt trade places every other day. The place where you're doing everything right and seeing no immediate results. They all lived here, and they all thought the same thing you're thinking right now. Maybe I'm different. Maybe it works for other people, but not me. Maybe I missed my window. Maybe I'm not talented enough, connected enough, lucky enough. But they stayed anyway. Not because they were more confident than you, but because they didn't let the doubt make the decision. They let the action make the decision. And that's the only difference between you and them right now. They're on the other side of the in-between. And you're still in it, but you're walking through it. You're moving. And as long as you keep moving, you'll get there. It's not a question of if. It's only ever been a question of when. So let me give you a framework, something practical. Because I know you're tired of vague encouragement. You need something you can actually use. Here it is. Stop measuring your progress by how you feel. Feelings lie, feelings fluctuate based on sleep, stress, comparison. 1,000 variables that have nothing to do with whether you're actually moving forward. Instead, measure your progress by what you did. Not what you felt while doing it, just what you did. Did you show up today? Even if it was messy, even if it felt pointless, even if you barely got anything done, you showed up. That's progress. Did you take one action, any action that moved you even slightly closer to where you want to be? You did. That's progress. Did you not quit? Did you wake up and keep going even though part of you wanted to stop? You did. And that's progress. The in-between phase isn't measured by milestones. It's measured by consistency. By the decision to keep walking even when you can't see the path. And you've been doing that. Even on the days it didn't feel like enough, it was. Here's the metaphor that changed everything for me. Imagine you're lost in the woods. You don't know which direction leads out. You don't have a map. You don't have cell service. All you have is the choice to move or stay. If you stay, you die. Slowly. Comfortably at first, maybe. But eventually, staying still in the woods will kill you. So you start walking. You pick a direction and you go. And maybe after 2 days, you realize you went the wrong way. You're deeper in the woods than when you started. So what do? You turn around. You try a different direction. You keep moving. Because every wrong direction teaches you something. Every failed attempt eliminates one path. And eventually, through trial and error, through persistence, through refusing to stay still, you find your way out. That's where you are right now. You're walking through the woods, and some days it feels like you're going in circles. Some days it feels like you're making it worse, but you're not. You're learning. You're eliminating paths. You're building the skill of navigation. And one day, Sooner than you think, you'll break through the tree line and see the clearing, and you'll realize the woods weren't punishing you. They were training you. Now, here's what most people miss about the in-between phase. It's not preparation for success. It is success. It's the most alive you'll ever be. Because once you make it, once you're on the other side, you'll have new problems, new pressures, new versions of the in-between. Success doesn't end the uncertainty. It just changes the level you're playing at. So if you're waiting to feel successful before you let yourself enjoy the process, you'll never enjoy anything. This is it. This phase, this struggle, this beautiful, frustrating, character-building season. This is where you become the person capable of holding what you're asking for. So stop rushing through it. Stop wishing it was over. You'll miss it when it's gone. You'll look back and realize this was the time you were most hungry, most driven, most willing to do whatever it took. That hunger is precious. Don't waste it wishing you were already full. And here's the sign you've been looking for. The confirmation that you're on the right path. It's not external. It's not someone validating you or an opportunity falling into your lap or sudden clarity about every next step. The sign is internal. It's the fact that you're still here. Still willing to believe that maybe, just maybe, this message found you because you needed it. The universe doesn't waste signs on people who aren't ready to receive them. If you found this video, if these words are landing, if something inside you is saying yes, keep going. That's your confirmation. You're not lost. You're not behind. You're not running out of time. You're exactly where you need to be, learning exactly what you need to learn, becoming exactly who you need to become. And the breakthrough you're waiting for, it's not coming when you're ready. It's coming because you've been ready. You just haven't seen the evidence yet. But it's building under the surface in ways you can't track. And when it breaks through, when everything you've been working toward finally clicks into place, you'll understand why it had to take this long, why you had to feel this lost, why you had to endure the in-between. Because the version of you on the other side couldn't exist without this version suffering through the middle. So if this resonated, if you felt seen, if something in these words gave you the permission to keep going, drop 3 words in the comments. I'm still walking. That's it. No explanation. Just those 3 words. Because when you declare it publicly, when you name where you are and claim your commitment to keep moving, something shifts. It stops being a private struggle and becomes a shared journey. And if you know someone stuck in the in-between, someone who's doubting whether they should keep going, share this with them. Ask them to write it too. I'm still walking. Because sometimes we need to hear that we're not the only ones in the woods. That there's a whole community of people taking one step at a time. Not because they can see where they're going, but because staying still isn't an option. If you want more of these conversations, subscribe. And if supporting through Super Thanks feels right, it helps me invest in better production, so these messages reach you with the clarity they deserve. Either way, you being here matters. The truth is, you're closer than you think. Closer than your doubt wants you to believe. Closer than your circumstances currently reflect. The gap between where you are and where you're going is smaller than it's ever been. Not because time has passed, but because you've changed. You've grown. You've become someone different than who you were when you started this journey. And that growth, that transformation, that's what closes the gap. Not luck, not timing, not external circumstances finally aligning. You. Becoming the person who doesn't need perfect conditions to succeed. Who doesn't need constant validation to keep moving. Who doesn't need to see the whole path to take the next step. That person is forming right now, in the in-between, in the doubt, in the days where you showed up anyway. And when you finally break through, when you're standing on the other side looking back, you'll see that the in-between wasn't the obstacle. It was the answer. It was where you became who you needed to be. So keep walking. Keep showing up. Keep trusting that the path reveals itself to those who move. You're not lost. You're just not there yet. And that's exactly where every person who made it had to be before they arrived. This is your season. Honor it. This video found you in the middle of it, and you won't need to see it again. Because by the time you're looking for it, you'll already be living proof that the in-between was worth it.